Hey everybody, this is Darwin Renan, the Festival Director of Hospitalejo Vega International Film Festival. Today we have a great filmmaker from Las Vegas. I love her. I met her in Vegas actually 1 year ago. She's fantastic. She's very talented. Tamia Dow is with us today. And she's gonna tell us a little bit about Toxic Love, which is a film that we have in our festival, and we are very happy to have that film. Tamia, how are you?
I am doing fabulous. It's bright and early in the morning here, and I know it's the evening for you. So I love the internet and how we can connect all over the world.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it, Tamia. So tell us a little bit about why do you write Toxic Love? Is something personal, or is from a friend you hear the story, or how this story came out? Because it's about domestic violence. Very interesting subject. I loved your film, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, so I am a retired Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department detective, and my specialty before my retirement was domestic violence.
Wow.
So I dealt with people who were victims of domestic violence and sometimes misidentified as victims of domestic violence from sex trafficking.
Wow.
It's very eye-opening for me. It was truly an amazing blessing to be exposed to these people who were dealing with these particular situations. I am the type of person who, and all you saw was a clip in Toxic Love, because it is a teaser for a feature length.
Wow.
And in the feature film, just like in my career in this film, I'm going to be talking about all aspects of those things related to people who are experiencing domestic violence in their home. Either want to be too helpful or they don't want to help at all, you know? And the reality of it, what I experienced quite often as a detective was I would end up meeting someone the first time that they got abused, and maybe it was a slap or a kick or a punch or something like that, you know, and I would explain to them, not the best place to be, you know, either you or he or both or she or whoever is being violent needs to get counseling. And not everybody took the counseling advice. And then unfortunately, I would end up going back, and before you know it, sometimes I was going back to recover a dead body.
Wow, wow. So that's why you wrote this film. Okay, that's a very good, interesting. You wrote it, you directed, you produced it, you acting on it. Huh? How was that all that possible for you? Was it difficult, challenging, or you are used to that? What can you say about that?
I am actually used to it. It's interesting what my entire career background is. And my entire career background is, you know, I come from military. I was a military officer. So in there, you do a lot of directing. You do a lot of planning and directing as a military officer. And then, of course, I went on to be a police officer. I know we have people watching from different countries, actual police officer that goes out in a patrol car by themselves, you know, and goes out and does investigations and makes arrests and does all these kind of things, which of course just built me to my next level, you know, and then filmmaking just made sense to me. I went to college during the course of all that stuff I described there. And in college, I did study screenwriting. And also prior to going to college, I acted when I was younger. So it all just came together. You know, I had the acting experience, the screenwriting experience, the directing experience. And to me, it just made sense to be in my own films, you know, because I would write these amazing characters, which you saw, they're pretty fun characters that, of course, I only, you know, I on them, so you didn't get to hear and learn everything about the characters. And that's why I'm really looking forward to the feature, because in the feature you get to learn a whole lot more about each one of those characters that you get to in Toxic Love.
Tamia, how was the pre-production? Pre-production, it was a long process, or how do you deal with the pre-production of Toxic Love? And then the production, how long was the production? Tell us a little bit about that.
So pre-production wasn't super long. I work with 3 core people to help me, especially in a short. You don't need a huge, you know, crew. But I have a director of photography. I have an assistant director, and then myself.
Wow.
And so we sit down and we go over what, you know, I wrote the script, right? So the script is written. I sit down with them and I make my script notes, and we do the shots, the shots for the different scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk through, because we actually had our actors, because we had our actors audition for us last year. They auditioned for the feature film.
Oh.
And we wanted to, and still are in the process of doing a fundraising campaign. So we wanted to do a teaser. And then actual production was done in one day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, outside of publishing shots, it was done in one day.
Everything in one day. Wow.
Yes.
So you were really
I said outside of the establishing shots. Right. He and I went and found some locations for the establishing shots and that there, but the physical, what you saw, all of the elements, I'm not going to describe it because I want to encourage people to watch it, but all of those elements that we did, we shot that all in a 1 day shoot, a full day shoot.
Definitely that willingness to help the process, right? How do you direct them? Do you give them room? This is an interesting question because we both are directors. Do you give them room to improvise, or you are more technical, hitting the marks? How's your approach? A little bit, just tell us about how you direct the actors.
Well, for us both as directors, we have a vision in our head of what we want to see come to pass, right? Yeah. For me, also being the screenwriter, I also know how I want my words to be said. I also know what the impact I want it from my words, that kind of thing. So as a director, it's like I had someone say when they read my script one time, they said, you can tell that you are an actor director because of the way you write stuff into the script. So that any actor or any director that would pick up the script would say, okay, this is what this person wants, to happen on this page. So with my actors, I watch what they're doing, so to say I envision something and then I see it and I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. That's not how I would like it to go like this. Can we slow it down, or can we this kind of thing? I also do take, I'll call it notes. I take feedback from my actors, so if I have my actors saying something and then they say, and they've said it to me before, well, I don't know if I would say it like that. I would think I would say it because I have them really invest in their character. I have them take the time and say, this is your character, read the script. You must become your character. So as they read, sometimes they'll say, I think I might say this, or maybe not that. It's not too often because I really think out the words, because I'm point of making the words move the story, and I'm very limited. I don't like a wordy script. I like more of an action, moving script. So if someone suggests to change a word or a phrase or something like that, I take it under consideration. And if it moves and it fits for the story, then we'll change it to that suggested line.
Difficult process or not really?
I have an amazing director of photography who's also an editor. So, and he and I work very closely together. He and I actually, whether we Zoom together, because he lives about 20 minutes away from me, or whether we meet at his house, but we do a lot because we've done quite a few actually quarantine films, just little fun ones. They're called stuck at home films, and we made them, and I directed people from my house at their house, and we created some really clever films, and then he's my editor. So we send all of the footage over to him, and then he and I sit and go through the footage, either, like I said, in person or via Zoom, because he just shares a screen. And we're like, okay, so let's do cut. Let's pick that take. Let's do this. Let's do that. And we work really closely together. He's a very, very good editor.
How's your so you get along very good with your editor? Do you get ideas from him, or you are more like, I want it this way, or you share the ideas he give you, the feedback, and then you say, oh, maybe you're right. Maybe, yeah, we get rid of this. Or how is this? Because it's very, for me with the editor, we are in a fight, because he wants this, I want that. How is for you?
That's a great question. He and I have had some discussions. He and I'm a pretty strong-willed person, and he's just an amazing, talented person. So yes, we do. We go back and forth sometimes on stuff. I'm like, oh, that I don't know, And then sometimes he'll say, well, this makes sense, but this doesn't. or why don't we think about this, so I really value his input, because he and I have worked together on actually 11 projects. We've done 11 short films together.
What about when you guys have the final cut, right? And you guys are ready to put it out to the world like you did. How do you decide is the final cut? Do you get feedback? You show it to friends first, or you decide it by yourself? You say, no, I like what I have, I'm going with this. Or you rather to get feedback from somebody else. You show it before you really push it out. How's it work for you to make the final master,
I guess I probably should show it to other people.
This is a good question, Tamia. So you're telling me I know your answer already. So you're going with your gut, right?
Yeah, I pretty much, like I said, I know what I want to see. I know what I want it to say and be, and yeah. So therefore, it's like, yeah, I have the final say. Yes, this is the final cut. My partner Steven and I work together on it. He gets us that final cut, and we even started making a joke, because he would do what I would ask him to do, and then he would send me, and it would say final on it, and I was like, no.
I mean, it's your project. I'm agree with you. You, as a director, you have your vision, and you have to create your own style, and it's you. Because sometimes it happens to me, Tamia, when I pass my film, it becomes a nightmare, because I start getting eyes like, this guy want this movie this way, this one the other way, this, and it's like, so everybody want a different film. It's really complicated when you share also, because the feedback, it put you down, actually. You get really confused, it happens to me many times, and you don't know what to do. So
right, that's why I do it the way I do it, because I actually coach people on doing business on side of being a filmmaker, and I always say to them, done is better than perfect, and being done with your film, getting your message out there, it's not going to be perfection. You could spend, like you said, the person who has the short film that they filmed a year ago, and they still can't get it locked down. No, do the film, finish the film. It's not going to be perfect.
What do you think is the most difficult process in filmmaking? Pre-production or post? What do you think? For me, production is the hardest one, I think.
I would agree that it's production, because all the rest of it is, you can have time with it, the rest of it.
Exactly.
With production, you have your actors for a certain amount of time, and you need to get certain scenes shot in a certain amount of time. I mean, yeah, you could draw it out, but the thing is, to become a professional filmmaker, even though they call us independent professional filmmaker, you have to set those schedules, and you have to hit your marks, and you have to respect the time of your crew and your cast. You can't just keep running and saying, hey, we're going to have a 2-day shoot, and we're going to have these people here and this time and blah, 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 and just go, oh yeah, we're going to have to do 7 pickup shots or whatever. That's unprofessional. You should know. I mean, pickup shots are okay. Every once in a while, say you get together and you brainstorm and you decide you want to add some things, then okay, you have a pickup shot that you add in, but it shouldn't be the norm. This should be something that was discussed in your pre-production with your team about what other possible things you could pick up, and plus that doesn't involve bringing in your actors and crew. You should be able to do pickup shots, for example, like you saw some establishing shots in our show. And that was just Steven and I, or Steven on his own, going out and picking those videos, taking those shots. We didn't need cast or crew or anything like that. So we weren't imposing upon their time. And I think that's important. So production to me is really key, and staying to your schedule, respecting everybody on set, and their time, realizing that their time is valuable.
Lovely, Tamia. Thank you very much for your time. You are coming to Barcelona, right? Tamia, come on.
It is my plan. I was ready for November. I was like, you saw my video. I was like ready for November.
But we move it to a better date, March 2021, which I think is gonna be okay for you guys in the US, for us in Europe. Let's cross fingers, right? Let's hope that.
I'm praying. Yes.
Yes. So
I'm looking forward to it. I've been to Barcelona before and had a very good time in Barcelona. I actually was in town because I told you I was a retired police officer. I was there for a police conference about 3 years ago.
We're looking forward to see you. Will be an honor for us to have you in our festival with your great film. Yeah, I already told you that. And thank you very much for your time. It's been great. I mean, I've been learning a lot, and a lot of people is going to learn from you as well. Thank you for that. Okay.
Thank you, Darwin. Thank you for doing this. I think it's amazing. I've been watching the other filmmakers that you've been doing interviews with, and I think it's amazing because I look at it like this in the virtual time right now. Usually, if we are all together, you know, some of us will connect, you know, we'll get to talk to each other, but the way you're doing this, each one of us can actually watch the other's film and get to know, you know, watch the video and watch the film and get to know the filmmaker and then connect when we actually hit there in March. Connect ahead of time.
Exactly.
You know,
that's my goal.
Right? We got Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's my goal. Somebody sees you, Tamia, and say, oh, yeah, I saw you in that video. You were telling about this and that, you know, and it's more easy to approach, you know, when they already see you in a video. That's my goal. Yeah, definitely. People, when we are in Barcelona and say, oh, I see you there. You were talking about your film. So it's more like, it's not so cold. It's like more open, you know. It's like, oh, I saw you already, you know. So yeah, that was my intention, on doing this. Thank you very much. I'll let you go now, and thank you again for joining us, all right? Tamia, thanks a lot.
Thank you. God bless you. See you in November, see you in March.
Yeah.